One man's stumbling block is another man's cornerstone. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. This is part number 3 of our 5-part series on the road in Texas, praise God, and looking at what God has done by asking the question, what more could he have done to save us? We left off in Isaiah chapter 5 in the previous study, looking at God as the Lord of Israel and Israel as his beloved or his vineyard, and the vineyard deciding that we want to sow wild grapes. And so he takes away the hedge. Well, it's interesting that even down now in Matthew 21, Jesus goes back to this analogy. Guess what? There are a whole bunch of other people who say, Father, make us wine, make juice of our lives. I want to do your will. But before we unpack this, we want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. By all means, hit the like button, leave a comment, ask a question. And then we'd love for you to go to the website too. That's changeministry.org. You're going to see this study and many more. And if you want us to come to your church or your school, please just send us an email. We're even willing to come at our own expense, but we're relying on you to extend the invitation. In Matthew chapter 21, Jesus speaks a parable to the people who he knew were going to turn their back on him, but he does it in a way that they don't know that he's talking about them, but he does it in such a way to get beyond their pride, to get to their heart. In Matthew 21, hear another parable, he says. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about it and digged a winepress in it and built a tower and let it out to husbandmen. Now here we have the added element of the husbandmen who were responsible for this vineyard. That's who he's talking to. But I continue. He left and went into a far country. This is the Lord of the vineyard. And when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen, that they might receive the fruits of it. And the husbandman took his servants and beat one and killed another and stoned another. So now the husbandmen, they took the servants of the Lord of the vineyard and they abused them and they misused them and they ignored them and rejected them. So what does the Lord of the vineyard do? Like God did to Israel then, he sent other servants, more than the first, and likewise. But last of all, the greatest thing he could have done, he sent them his son, saying, they'll reverence my son because he's my son. But they caught him. They caught the son and cast him out of the vineyard and slew him. Now, if Israel is the vineyard, he's saying that Israel is going to reject the son and separate themselves from the Lord of the vineyard. In other words, they would no longer be the vineyard because they've rejected the son. Jesus goes on to ask here in verse number 40, when the Lord therefore of the vineyard cometh, what will he do to those husbandmen? Now he asked them, and they say unto him, he will miserably destroy those wicked men, and will let out his vineyard unto other husbandmen, which shall render him the fruits in their seasons. That's powerful. I would have just said he'll destroy the husbandmen. I would have just said that he'll destroy the husbandmen. But they themselves said he will replace those whom he had to destroy. And Jesus said unto them, did you never read this in the scriptures? The stone which the builders rejected, the same stone has become the head of the corner. That's another way of saying the cornerstone. And it is marvelous in our eyes. It's so marvelous that the God who knows all is marveled. I don't even know if marveled is a word, but you know what I'm talking. It's like, whoa, that what God has done is for those who reject him, it still is available for others to receive him. One man's stumbling block. The person who says, I don't want to hear what God has to say. There's someone who says, Lord, speak. For every person that says, Father, this is an inconvenience, there's someone else who's going to say, Lord, this is an opportunity. Don't ever feel so frustrated when you are doing a work that because somebody has closed the door in your face, that's one closed door closer to the open door. All rejection, simply when we're doing God's will, is leading us to reception. So now let's flip that. When we make the decision to turn our backs on God, don't ever think that you're less important than you should be. Yes, God so loved the world that he gave him to you. But don't think that you are so essential that you're irreplaceable. Because if you decide not to do it, God can just create another solution. But he wants us to have the opportunity to say yes. He wants us to have the opportunity to participate. So when God calls next time and asks you to stand in your place, know this, stand. Because the master of the vineyard is going to make juice. He's going to make juice out of your junk.